Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45 research methods for Saturday, March 5th. And as I always say, I'm just going to go over a few items and reminders, clarifications, anything I think you need to know to stay on top of things in the course, and also keep this short and sweet. So let's get started. First of all, your quiz scores from Chapter 6 that you took there on Wednesday, those have been posted on Canvas, so you should have gotten an announcement about that from Canvas, so definitely check that out. You have your discussion there for Chapter 6 that was due yesterday or on Friday, and some of you did submit early, so I was able to take a look at those, and I was really impressed by the detail and the articulation that you provided for those issues around using college students in our research, and so I was really impressed by that, so good work there. We have our next quiz on Chapter 7 due next Wednesday, as also you're going to have your next discussion for Chapter 7 due next Friday, so just be aware of that. And when we come back to class next week, we're going to go ahead and spend Monday and Wednesday working on Chapter 7 still. In Chapter 7, we're going to be taking a look on Monday on how to control confounding variables, because all we've talked about so far is that, well, there can be confounds that can be a problem, but haven't really talked about yet, well, what do you do about them once they're there, or how do you prevent them from happening in the first place if you think they might be a problem? So we're going to take a look at 3 methods to control confounds, which are pretty important, and I want you to know those for your exam. You'll see that on the study guide when you look at that there, so check that out. And we're also going to be taking a look at different sorts of control groups, but really what we call control conditions, and examining that too, and also taking a look at simulation and field studies there too. Got some pretty cool videos to show you there next week as well, so that's what we'll be doing there, plus a little group exercise that'll really help you again in identifying IVs and DVs and etc. there when it comes to experiments. Next up here, speaking about stuff I want you to know for your exam, a little early here, but your second exam will be on the following Monday, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday on the 14th over chapters 5, 6, and 7. So as always, do take advantage of your study guide. You'll get an announcement about that early next week to remind you about that upcoming exam. I always try to have those out there about a week ahead of time just to give you a heads up there, if you will. Also, as I've been saying in class there for these past couple of weeks, don't forget that your outline, the second part of your literature review paper, that is due on the 16th, which is a week from this coming Wednesday, so again, some time there. But again, you'll find the APA Lit Review module underneath Unit 5 of our course materials. So scroll on down there like you did for Part 1. You'll find all the instructions there. You'll find at the very top of the instructions there for Component 2, the outline, a little short how-to video where I walk you through with screenshots on the instructions there, so you know what to pay attention to and what to look for there to help get your paper together. So do take some time to watch that. It's not very long, about 10 minutes or so, I think, there, if I recall. And so do take a look at that. Also do take a look at the sample outlines I provided there for you. I've provided some regular outlines on topics that aren't necessarily social psychology, but I also provided some outlines that are on topics in social psychology, so definitely take a look at those there. Do pay careful attention to the instructions there that you'll find again in that APA Lit Review module, and especially notice there I have a little box there. I showed you that same box there in class about don't just provide a lot of quotes, because quoting's not writing. Make sure that you use all of your references, all 10. You have to say at least one thing about when you cite them in your outline, just like you're going to cite all of them in your final literature review paper, the third part of the paper. And also be careful not to have citations for sources that aren't found in your references. This is supposed to be about the literature you located as documented in your list of references, so make sure you say something about each one of them, and don't have things in your outline about sources you don't have provided in your references, because that's not part of your literature review, so be careful about that. And do again incorporate any feedback from Part 1 of your writing assignment that I told you that needed to be fixed, so you can correct that. I give you pretty detailed feedback, so you shouldn't have any trouble fixing up any of the problems that you had there. And you'll also find near the bottom of the instructions for the outline there a little rubric file where I just kind of walk you through a bit and just tell you some things that you might want to be careful of, just to avoid missing out on a lot of points. That's and also, of course, as you come for Chapter 7 there, don't forget to read your book, watch those lecture videos. It'll really help you out, especially for this chapter on experiments. I really do say some pretty important things about experiments in the lecture videos, especially towards the end of the chapter. So make sure you check those out. It will really help you out and understand those things because, again, we're not going to cover a lot of that in class because we're doing this flipped classroom thing, but I am going to address some of those issues just more as a discussion and not so much a formal lecture, as I'm sure you all know by now. Otherwise, that's everything I wanted to say for this weekend video. If you need anything in the meantime, reach out via email on Canvas and I'll be glad to get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you're having a good weekend and I will see you in class on Monday. So take care until then.